What is up guys, it is Simba here and welcome back to another team racing video on F1 24, and today it is round number 8 for AEC's Chinese Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last race in AEC, which was in Miami, the most recent video, go check that one out if you haven't seen this one already. And if you are enjoying the league racing content and the team racing content that is on the channel at the moment, be sure to hit the like button more and daily videos. I'm trying to upload these videos every 3 or 4 days, trying to be making a consistent upload schedule so you guys can enjoy the races that I'm doing on the channel. So let's get into this one. You see that we are in our first lap in qualifying here around Shanghai. As you know, if you've seen the COT video around here, we ended up winning the race, but the qualifying lap wasn't great. So since joining FRT, I've joined with Harvey on the grid once more, and we've made a setup that actually is working around here, but the first lap here isn't great.
That was shit.
And there is some very good feedback after the first lap. It's a 30.4 and it wasn't very good. So we're going to try and improve on our second lap in the session now. You can see that we are just fighting with the delta, but we do gain quite a bit of time through turns 8, 9 and 10 as we come in towards turn 11 and 12 now, this chicane. And then you've got this long-winded right-hander. And unfortunately for us, we don't quite get it right. We lose the rear on the entry and we just steer off wide as we go into the straight.
It's like I'm forgetting how to drive. Like, this is so shit.
And you can hear me not being very happy about this at all, because this is far from a good lap. As we have dropped to P7 now, and we're not really improving. So here we go into the hairpin. We do get the braking right, but we lose the rear end completely. We're drifting through the exit there. And that is another lap in the bin. So we're really not putting the lap together at the moment, and now we're going to have time for this one lap. Let's see if we can find an improvement, because we're desperately needing one as we're down in 9th place. Open DRS, a bit of overtake as we come towards the very long turn 1. Just sweeping through, down the gears as we go up the hill, down to 3rd gear by the time we kiss the apex of turn 2, and then open up the corner for turn 3, and we do get a bit of a better exit through turn 4, which does help us find a 10th in the first sector. Bear in mind, my first sector before was a 0.7, which isn't great, so a 0.6 is quite a much needed improvement through the first part of the lap. Through turn 6 we get a nice exit, and now we're going to prepare for turn 7, which is flat out on this game, and we just open up the left for the right-hander at turn 8. We do lose a bit on the curb, we take too much inside curb, but we get away with it as we manage to catch the car through turns 9 and 10, and we've managed to gain a bit more time despite the error. Through turns 11 and 12, down to 3rd gear for 11, and open up the right-hander for turn 12. And now this is just a really sweeping corner that we got horrendously wrong last time, but thankfully we don't get it wrong and we maintain the advantage we have. It's just over a 10th and a half, nearly 2 tenths up as we open DRS for probably the second to last time around the lap, as Justin does a 29.6. He's flying around here. Let's see if we can try and get anywhere near him. Down to 3rd for the hairpin, actually clipping the apex. A decent exit as well. We're 2.5 tenths up now, so this is a much needed improvement as we come around the last corner. Down in 5th, send it over the curb. We don't botch it this time. 4 tenths up as we cross the line, and that is P3 with a 30.0. And you can hear me in the background saying I was pretty happy with that, as it was a much needed improvement similar to Miami. But in the end, we do drop down to P4. Tech Brutal, now the Tier 2 WR champion, did knock us out of the top 3. It's a 1-2 for BRT. I'm pretty happy with 4th. It wasn't the best lap though. My PB was a 0.7, so we could have potentially got P3 or P2. And Harvey once again didn't quite deliver. But he was literally a few hundreds behind us in P6. So it was really close from P3 all the way down the order. But P4 and 6 is a really good position to start in. So let's get into the race and see what we can do. So, here we go. Time for the start of the race. The hard tyres are very popular around here. So we're going to be doing the same strategy as we did in COT. But there is rain on the horizon. Only one icon on the race strategy screen. So we're going to have to bear that in mind for the end of the race. Right, good luck. But we are starting P4. Our highest position start so far this season. Let's see if we can turn this into another podium, or maybe a race win. 5 red lights in front of us, and they are out. And we are underway for the Chinese Grand Prix in AEC, and it's a pretty good start for us. We managed to maintain position as Bobbert looks to challenge the BRT drivers. Going into turn 1, we're having a look at the inside of Bobbert as Justin goes very wide. There's contact between the two of them, and we somehow squeeze through the gap as if we were Danny Kvyat in 2016, and we get away with it. We're up into P2, but unfortunately, my teammate Harvey has got damaged again, and I've seen his onboard from the clip. It's genuinely ridiculous because he doesn't even touch the car in front and he somehow gets damaged. So Harvey having awful luck again with damage. He got it last time in Miami as well. So he's really not having a good time of it as of late, as the VSC did come out for an incident behind us, and now it's ended and we're returning to racing speed. Tech Brutal just in front of us, and this is ironically the closest we've ever been to Tech Brutal in a race situation, probably since the AEC mini-series, because he's gotten so much quicker in between those races a few months ago. So kudos to him. He's leading the way, and we're looking to try and pass him at the first opportunity. You can see in the VSC restart and here, he goes a little bit wide at the hairpin, so we could try and size a move. He misses the apex at the last corner as well, so now I'm going to try and take advantage of this. DRS and overtake open, and now we sweep to the inside line, and once again, we take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. This time, it's in AEC, and I think this is the first time we're leading a race so far this season on lap number 4. So, pretty good stuff. I'm pretty happy. My engineer was Harrison Holmes, a fellow FRT driver, and bear in mind that his information is a little bit behind.
Well, the main thing is just not to lose the place to Bobbert, but only to Tech. I'm not too bothered about swapping with him. Oh, for fuck's sake.
And on to lap 4, you can hear me say that, you know, I'm happy to swap places with Tech, but we don't want to lose the place to Bobbert because I don't want to lose 2 places in one straight. But Bobbert has got the inside line now for the hairpin, and unfortunately, we just can't really do much about it. We let him go, and we're down to 3rd place.
Yeah, I don't have much to fight with. That's fine. It's only lap 4. That's 5.
So, despite losing the place to Bobbert as we start lap 5, I'm not too bothered about it because, like I said, it's literally lap 5 of the race. It's 28 laps, so there's quite a way to go in this race, and there's still a lot to play for, especially the fact that we're already in the podium places. So, on to lap 5, I'm going to start realising now that Justin has made a decent recovery already, as he was involved in the first lap collision with Bobbert, and now he's going to try and pass us. We're trying to use the overtake to try and defend, but there's not much we can do, as we don't have much at the end of the straight. As Justin goes up the inside, he makes a bit of contact with his teammate on the exit, and he's up into 3rd place. And again, we have to just back out of it. And I quickly realised at this point that we are not really having too much ERS. We can't really afford to burn it all down the straight because our straight line speed isn't great, and that affects your ERS recharge. So the higher the wings, the slower the recharge, and that's exactly what we're going through right now. As on to lap 8, you can see there's a lot of action going on. BRT were in a 1-2 position as Justin now is back in the lead, despite that first lap spin. And Bobbert is trying to challenge them. You can see now he's up into P2. He did pass Tech at the hairpin, and now he's looking for Justin as well. And it's going to be the Shizou driver that's going for the lead. He goes up the inside, and that slows Tech down through turn 1. So we're going to try and sneak past him, be opportunistic like we were on the first lap. As we go through turn 3, though, they're going to be trying to sandwich us.
Oh my god. Like, he tactically blocks me. Like, what's the point? I don't have damage, but Tech does, and I feel bad for him because he doesn't deserve that one bit. Justin tries to block me and let Tech up the inside. That's just so shit. Tactics on lap 9, lads.
And we get away with it scot-free, but unfortunately Tech doesn't. We tag the back of him, and he goes into his teammate, and he's got front wing damage, which is exactly what I was hoping to avoid. Because, you know, I don't really want to be doing that, but the thing is, we got sandwiched. Justin blocked us into turn 3, and we didn't have much else to go by the time we got out of the corner, and then Tech got damaged. So Tech is at the back of the train now, but he's actually going to be keeping up with us because Justin's going to try and hold up everyone behind him and allow his teammate to get DRS back despite having damage. But you can see Bobbert has managed to pass Justin again for the race lead. These two were going back and forth for the last couple of laps, and we're going to try and see if we can get involved as well. So DRS open, Justin's going to go for the move on Bobbert, and we're going to make sure he loses 2 places down the straight and we get past him as well. But then there we go, up into P2 we go, but you can see Justin goes a bit slowly on the exit of the hairpin, and we don't get a great exit, and Bobbitt gets right back past us. And you can hear my confusion in the background. I passed him, and he somehow went round the outside anyway, so we gained absolutely nothing in that exchange. And we're still in third place.
Like 1 or 2 laps longer as well.
So it's not ideal, as Bobbitt's using the outside line to his advantage, as Justin really is trying to slow everyone up here to make sure his teammate is still in DRS. You can see Bob and Boy and Mulder as well for XPG and FG respectively in 4th and 5th as well. So these guys are going to be trying to leap on an opportunity to get a podium, as Bobbitt's through turn 11.
Oh my god. Bobbitt has murdered Justin.
He's completely wiped out Justin at turn 11. And for the second time this race, Justin is facing the wrong way in his Mercedes. We take the lead of the race again, but it's not going to be for long because Bourbon Boy now in the RB breezes past us on the main straight, and now he's leading the Chinese Grand Prix. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo cards for AEC before this race. Bourbon Boy leading the race, but fair play to him. He took his chance and he's absolutely taken it. So he now leads the race. We're down in P2, and crucially, Tech and Justin pitted on the same lap when Tech had damage. I have no idea what's going through Justin's head there, and I don't know why they boxed on the same time, but this opens an opportunity for the rest of us to jump ahead of them in the pit stops. So you heard me say in the background onto lap 16, I don't want to risk going one more lap because we could risk getting undercut. So we're going to go into the pits and go for the mediums. And crucially, Bobbitt and Mulder follow us in as well. So we're going to go for an undercut attempt on the XPG driver of Bourbon Boy. We should get to the end of the race on these medium tyres. But remember, rain is on the way. I'm not too sure when it's going to arrive. So it's better to play it safe with the strategy so we don't put ourselves in a precarious position by the time the rain arrives. So it's coming in XPG 1-2, and you can see we're going to come out well ahead of the Mercedes cars. We go into turn 1, and you can see that Mercedes there is just going through turn 1 now. So we've got a pretty decent margin, and I can tell you, I think that was Tech as well in the Mercedes there going through turn 3 right now. And he doesn't really catch us because it's one thing to have pace on this game, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't have DRS. And if you don't have DRS, you're just going to be leaking so much time on the DRS straights. So Tech's race is pretty much done. He's pretty much too far of a distance behind us at this point. So all we need to worry about now is Bobbitt and Mulder, who are still right behind us. The two XPG cars pit at the end of lap 17, and we take the lead once more with 11 laps to go. So the crucial thing is now is Bourbon Boy is 2 seconds behind, but he's going to have the freshest tyres on the grid. He's also ahead of Tech Brutal, which really just shows how much time Tech lost with changing the front wings. It's really unfortunate for him. And on to lap 18 now. By the end of lap 18, we're going to try and swap with Bobbitt because you can see the gap between myself and Mulder. It's just over a second. So I was thinking we could try and work together with the Shazoo driver and try and pull away and make this a race for ourselves. But unfortunately, Mulder must have known what was going on, and he's definitely within a second now. So not too much going on here. Bobbitt sets the fastest lap of a 32.1. We did a 32.9, so that's pretty much the effect of DRS on this track. As on to lap 20 now. At this point, the team were telling me that Bobbitt has basically got a penalty looming on his head. So we know there's a 5-second penalty for him. We just need to stay in second to win the race, but we take the lead again, knowing that this could be our chance to win our first AEC race in Tier S since we made that first video in Hungary on F1 23. We've come a long way, so it would be nice to take the chances when they are there, especially when we didn't quite do that in Bahrain. So we're going to see if we can hold on to this. But rain is on the way. You can see the clouds have gotten darker in between laps here, and by lap 22, the rain has hit the track. And you can see that, obviously, we're losing a lot of grip, and the track does not feel the best for these tyres anymore. So we're going to box on the end of this lap. Harvey and Harrison were telling me to box the end of this lap. Harrison's information is a little bit behind in that sense because the stream was well behind where we are on the circuit by a good 10 seconds. So not everything he's telling us is accurate at the moment, and that is the main sign that it is time for wet tyres. DRS has been disabled, so if this didn't happen. Bobbits would have breezed into the lead, but we're going side by side, going into the hairpin. We've got the outside line this time. Bobbits has the inside. We're going to leave each other enough space and enough respect. Bobbits is good in that regard. He always leaves space for the other car, as you've seen with Justin a few laps ago. We're going to go side by side into the pit lane, though. We don't quite take the lead, and Bobbits goes wide, and he does claim the place as we go into the pits. But that was a very close call.
Okay. That's something you don't say every day.
And you can just my reaction there. I was quite surprised, but the main thing is we did manage to get into the pit safely. He did overtake us off the track, which, you know, we could report, but I don't think it was really needed. As we are still 1-2 at this point, as everyone is in for the intermediate tyres. And Bourbon Boy is going to be close behind us as well. He's got the fastest lap now, so Bourbon Boy is having a right race here. He's having a fantastic race for XPG. It meant a lot for them to get, for him to get a podium, especially after what happened in Bahrain. He was very unlucky there. But the thing is, Mulder's kind of out of contention. So over the last few laps, nothing much happened. I'm pretty much stuck behind Bobbits, and Bourbon Boy's close behind. And we're going to skip to the last lap of this race here, guys, because now we've been sticking with Bobbits this entire stint. He was actually really good in the wet conditions as well, but we are slightly faster through this part of the racetrack in Sector 2. He was slightly faster in Sector 1, but again, the team were telling me, just reminding me, you don't need to take any risks, but the race win is right in front of us, and we want to try and take it on track, even if Bobbits might have a penalty. So we've got a decent run out of turn 10. We're just 4 tenths back on him, as we've managed to build a bit of a gap to Bourbon Boy behind us as well, and now we just need to get a good exit out of this long, winding right-hander. Bobbits, you can see his rear end just squirming a little bit as he tries to get on the power as early as possible. As we go on to the long back straight, he moves to the right, and he's going to move back to the left. We're using everything in the battery to try and make a move, because this is our chance. The one chance we've got to win is on track. We're going to try and outbrake him down the inside at the hairpin. He's got the outside line, and like lap 14, he just gets ahead, and we're not going to win it on track. Bobbits is going to win the race on track, and it's going to be us in P2 in this Chinese Grand Prix. It's our best result of the season, but we're so close to the victory there, and you can see Bobbits celebrating on the podium. We get P2, which is still a great result, and I can tell you Harvey did recover to P12 despite getting damage on lap 1, but there you go. That was the race here in China. Bobbits and I really close. BRT, I have no idea what happened to them. Obviously, Tech was out of contention with a bit of contact, but I can tell you that did not get reported, thankfully. And I did feel bad. I did apologise to Tech afterwards. But you're going to see on screen the results, the proper results, because Bobbits did get a penalty, and that means we get P1 for the first time in AEC TRS. We win the Chinese Grand Prix on penalties, of course. Of course, it's not the way I wanted to do it, considering we did have a chance to win it on track, but I'm still very, very happy. After the painful race in Miami, it's great to actually get the win on the podium again, and this time it is the race win. My second win on F1 24, and I couldn't be happier with this one, simply because I feel like we have been slowly threatening for the race win for a while now. Our pace has really improved from F1 23 to this game, and we're trying to just show that in every single race. And of course, it's been a few frustrating races beforehand, and I'm glad we finally got the result. P1 here, big points for the team. I can't be happier, and it's the first win for my new team as well, so it doesn't get any better. That makes up for CSS, where we didn't quite finish the race. So that, guys, is the end of the video. Subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see all of you in the next one.